I hope this makes sense. Story time. My life with dyslexia. Story time. My life with dyslexia. So I'm going to give this my best shot and try to describe to you what it's like to live in my head, and what it's been like to kind of learn how to adapt and learn how to learn. That's a great way of putting it. So let me give a little historical context here. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 13, in sixth grade. I had already been held back a grade. I had done first grade twice. And I'd been deemed somewhat a troubled child, a problem child. I was in emotional support classrooms, special ed, all the way through my entire educational experience, all the way until sixth grade, when my foster family moved from, at that time, where were we? Philadelphia to Nashville, Tennessee. So at that time, I integrated into a normal classroom and had a totally different educational sort of experience. I was put with a very authoritative teacher, my hero, Miss Stockton. And in a matter of days, she realized I couldn't read. I used all of my best tricks. Every time it was my turn, I would go, or I would slam a book and everybody would jump, and I would just get in trouble. I would do whatever I could. I would sometimes just squint or squeeze my eyes and say, oh, I can't see, it's fuzzy, I have bad eyes. And some teachers would just say, oh, we gotta get that kid's eyes checked. And then we'll skip him. Or I'd say I get headaches. I lied. whatever worked. And that got me through fifth grade, which is pretty crazy, right? So Miss Stockton figures it out, okay? And then she starts tutoring me. And I've spoken a lot about this, but she spent hundreds of hours, maybe 1,000 or more, with me for 3 years straight, and then every year since, in mentorship. So, but anyway, she got me commensurate to my peers. She got me IQ tested. She helped get me diagnosed and taught me how to learn, right? So I say all that to say this. I want to do my best job to describe to you what it's like to read. Or to live in a dyslexic's mind, or at least my mind. I don't obviously know if it's this way for everybody, but I want to give people some perspective here, and hopefully maybe you can gain a little empathy, because this is so hard. My life is still so hard every day, and I now have more acceptance over this. I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to upload this and put this out to the world. This has been the source of so much shame and embarrassment for me. So for me, this is liberating. This is a selfish video. But again, let me try to describe this, okay? So what is it like to just simply read? I'll start here, okay? Because I want to give a number of examples and do my best to describe this. I have thousands of words memorized by now, okay? The easy ones, the days of the week, the months, things that you're going to use a lot, my name. I have a couple of numbers memorized, my social security number, my home address, and even that would be lost if I moved in a couple of weeks, okay? So my wife's phone number. I have very few numbers actually memorized, and it's almost like it's because it's a song. I could just pop it out. It's not because I can say the numbers and visually understand what's about to come next, okay? So I hope that makes sense. As far as the alphabet's concerned, I can tell you my alphabet, A through Z. However, I can't tell you the next preceding letters that are maybe 2 or 3 ahead. I can't do it. I would have to stop. This is me in my life right now, and start over at A. So if you said, John, where is L? I'd go LMNOP. So I could start from L, but I couldn't tell you 2 letters before L. I gotta go A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, and then I gotta go that way. So that's where I'm at today, okay? Short-term memory and reading comprehension. Man, this is crazy. Okay, so in order to read today, to be able to productively read something and comprehend it, I have to use a ruler or a piece of paper, something, and go literally line by line. I have to read the line, I have to pause, I have to almost ask myself. It's not this long of a step anymore, but it used to be. I had to train myself to, what did you just read? And then process it before I allowed myself to move to the next line. And then it was this. And it had to start with very simple books on more complex, right? I still have to do that practice. To this day, I can't, the way my brain processes it, I get overwhelmed by all that on the page and it scrambles. Now to the big kicker, okay? If that wasn't enough for you, this is how I read if I had never learned that technique. This is what I see, and this is what I live with, okay? If you give me a sheet of paper with words and lines, I am not able to I can't look at that and say, once upon a time there was a house, and comprehend that. I see TH, scribbly, wobbly, scribbly, doodly, dolly. And then by the time I get to the end of that diddly, dolly, scribbly, scrabbly, wobbly, I can't remember that sentence started with the. Oh no, so I started, the something, or once. I can't even write once upon a time. And then I got to start over because it was just this squiggly wobbly. They're not letters, they're not numbers. It's just, it goes wiggly wobbly on me, okay? That's a dyslexic's mind. And then my mind. And then the memory loss is there. So I can't even remember in that short term, that less than 30 seconds, maybe 90-second time period where I started, okay? Unless I literally go line by line and make myself compute and process. Now, it's easier. I've had 20 plus years of that, right? So now I can kind of read and flow, but I still have to do everything intentionally. And here's the weirdest thing, right? So if all of that isn't challenging enough, okay? That's my short-term memory on a line-by-line basis. This is why the human brain is awesome, because it can compensate, but it's also even more confusing, right? And harder to diagnose dyslexia. So while I just told you how difficult it is for me to have that short-term memory, I still am able to read an essay, something long form, 2, 3, 4 more paragraphs, and then turn it in and then kind of tell you the story. Oh, it's about a girl. She had a popsicle stand. She sold her popsicles for this much. Her name was Marion. So it's not like I'm incapable of comprehension. It's just that short-term ability to process this stuff takes a really concerted effort, and you have to learn how to learn. Hopefully that was helpful and offered some insight into what it's like into my mind as a dyslexic. Ultimately, the goal is here, if your mind doesn't think that way and you just read and understood and you had that sort of life experience, God bless you. You know, that's normal. That's what most of my peers had. I've always been very jealous of that. I've had to work very hard in my way just to get to the starting line. Like, you started there, you know. I had to get there, and then it was twice as long for me to read that book. A Tale of Two Cities, you did it in like 2 weeks. Oh my God, are you kidding me? It took me months and whatever, you know. So we all have our advantages and we have our disadvantages, you know. I also do have to remind myself of that. You know, not everybody was gifted in certain areas that I was gifted in, you know. So you take the good with the bad. This isn't about being negative. It's all about being positive. And hopefully, again, that offered some insight into what it's like into my dyslexic mind. So that's story time, my life with dyslexia. Thanks for watching.